So you join a new club, you think things are going incredibly well, and then you hit the last day of the transfer window and it all gets blown out of the water. So on the pitch, we've made a strong start to our time with Schalke, but as we reach the last day of the transfer window, things have gone slightly awry. The problem is partly the man you see on the screen, Malik Thiaw, who's been with Schalke for his entire career, but when bids started coming in for him, he decided that now was the time for him to leave the club and join a team in the Bundesliga. We had offers from Wolfsburg and the board accepted it on our behalf. We then protested it and the board backed us, but then further bids came in from clubs such as Hoffenheim. But now we were in charge of those transfer deals and we were able to reject them. The trouble was that when another bid came in for a further one of our defenders, unfortunately, the board accepted it once more and we weren't able to protest it, having already used our protest up on Malik Thiaw. And the bad news was that the bid that came in was for our club captain, Lennart Shabora, and our only first team left back. And they have moved him on to Wolfsburg. It means that it's brought a valuable £6 million into the club, and the finances are now looking far more encouraging because we were in the red before. We've dragged the wage budget back under control as well. So financially, the club's on a much better footing. But in terms of playing personnel, we are now having a gaping hole over at left back, and Shabora had been crucial to us during the first part of the season, and we really don't have a backup left back for him. On the bench, we do have Sadullah Gooney, who can play left back. He's more of a centre-back, really, although a small centre-back at that. But going forward as an attacking fullback, we've got crossing of 6 and dribbling of 9, and he's not very quick either. I don't think he's really going to be a first-choice regular for us. The other move that we could make would be to play a right back over at left back. We could do that with Lucas Klüntner, who's a far better attacking option. He's got decent pace. The crossing and the dribbling still aren't mighty fine, if I'm honest, and the passing isn't great either. And more worryingly, they only have this slight ability to play as a left back, described as unconvincing, and they're constantly beginning cutting in on their right foot. So we are starting to look a little bit stretched, and once again, we are a victim of boards interfering in our transfer policy, because otherwise, things were looking incredibly healthy. So look at us, we've won our first 6 games of the season. You saw us kick off our campaign by beating St. Pauli 4-1. We won the next game against Hansa Rostock 2-1. Rainer Rascal was on the score sheet. That's going to become a theme. And Sergio Cordova came into the side, and he's another good striking option for us. He's got electrifying hair. He's also very quick, and he's got good flair. He's a bit more of a flamboyant option up front. And he's come in and got 2 goals in 2 starts. So he's been a useful little addition to the squad. He's come back from an injury that he picked up in pre-season. We then had a 6-0 win in the cup against a lower league side before a 4-0 win against Saarbrücken away this time. And it also included another goal from Rainer Rascal, and this might be one of the best goals I think we've scored in FM22. It was a series of one-touch passes. The ball finally fell to Rascal. It was a cool finish inside the box, and that was a superb little effort before we went into a tough fixture against Paderborn, one of the other teams that are towards the top of the table, and Rainer Rascal got a brace this time to seal a 2-0 win. And the second goal in this game was a good example why I enjoy playing these central 3 strikers, as it does mean that crosses come into the box from quite narrow positions, meaning they can often be more accurate and provide tappings for strikers. So that was good. But in our next game, we played bottom of the table Sandhausen, and we needed a late goal from Lucas Klüntner, playing at right back rather than left back, because at this point, Shabora still hadn't moved on. But it was a late winner against a team who are really struggling, and having taken the lead early through Rainer Rascal in this game, we let Sandhausen back into the match and really had to push pretty hard late on just to maintain our winning start to the season. But it does mean that the league table is looking pretty good. We've already opened up a little gap at the top of the table. We're 2 points clear of Nuremberg, but we do have a game in hand over them. And if we could win that game in hand today, it would lift us to 18 points, 5 points clear of the teams below us in the table. That would be a superb start to the season and does make you wonder how long we could keep this winning run going. The tricky part is that we've got a tough opponent today. Greuther Fürth are down there in 10th place, but they have got a strong squad. But let's work out what we're going to do with our left back position first of all. So I did think about trying to find a central midfielder that might solve our left back issues. Finding one that's a left footer would be useful. I thought Timothy Tillman might fit the bill, but they're a right footer, even though they're natural on the left. And also their positioning and tackling is just a 7. A left-footed option would be Goodness Taiwo. They have no experience of playing at left back, and their tackling and positioning are only a 7 as well, and their crossing is a 5. So I think we'll mark Goodness down as an emergency option. Maybe a more natural choice might be to rebrand Christoph Kubica as a left back. Clearly, it's a position that they have played before. They are 2-footed. They're pretty slow. The crossing and the dribbling are just 9s, but the tackling and the positioning are better. So that could be an option for us moving forward. But today, whilst we're still in the shock of losing our captain and left back, I think we'll go with the more reliable option, even if it's going to stunt us offensively. So at least it will mean Kluntner gets some minutes out on the pitch, and they're going to be experienced. And if they can check in on their right foot, they might be able to send some sweeping balls in for our strikers to get on the end of. And we're also going to make some changes to our starting lineup. I've been giving a little bit of game time to some of the backup strikers over the last fixture or two. Frank Chajou had been out injured, and we'd also been resting Cordovar and Ganvula, but I think we might bring 2 of those players back into the side today. Chajou still struggling a little bit for fitness, so I think we'll let him build up a little bit, but we will take Geronimo out of the team and bring Ganvula back in, and I think Cordovar might come in for a Welshman, Rabbi Matondo, and we'll see that electric pink hair out on the pitch for us today. Having laboured to victory against bottom of the table in our last game and having lost our captain and left back since that fixture, today is going to be a difficult little affair. Let's give you the lowdown on our opponents in the Scout Report. Today we're travelling to the Bavarian city of Fürth on the edge of Nuremberg, where we're taking on Greuther Fürth. Fürth are predicted to finish 9th this season and are struggling to regain their place in the Bundesliga, having been relegated in 2022. Coach Iraklis Metaxas has guided them to mid-table so far this campaign, and this afternoon they will be hoping to play the part of spoilers as Greuther Fürth take on Schalke 04. So Greuther Fürth are the home team today. We are in our blue shirts. We've played some scintillating football during the early part of this season, but I am concerned that the loss of a natural left-sided fullback could disrupt us a little bit, and we didn't look that fluent in our last game against Sandhausen, so I am a little bit concerned that today we might come unstuck. They sent a cross into the box after 12 minutes. Our keeper Zingale, another player who many clubs came in with bids for, including Parma, and he wanted to go, but he's managed to bowl the ball out, and now we're coming forward with the rascal, and here is Kluntner. He has checked back onto his right foot. It wasn't the worst delivery, so maybe that won't be as bad as we were fearing it might be. And Cordovar has got the ball in that little inside right position that I do quite like crosses coming in for. And he sent the ball back across the box, and it's the rascal again, who's been an absolute revelation for us in the early games that we've played. We've had loan bids coming in from him from 3rd tier and even non-league clubs in Germany, showing that he clearly probably isn't quite ready for 2nd tier football, but we've thrown him into the side and he has been superb as Sequay test their goalie with a 30-yard free kick, and he's now going to be taking the corner for us. He slings it in. We've got some big men in the team. Lucas Ribeiro comes up from centre half and heads one over the bar. The first half has been fairly quiet so far, although our opponents haven't had a shot yet, but we could be losing our right back as well as our left back. Hugo Sequay has got himself sent off after just 39 minutes. We're going to have to rejig our formation and work out how we're going to cope without one of our back 4. So this is a conundrum because our backup right back is already on the field but playing at left back. I think we're going to have to try Kubica out and just throw them into the mix to see how they get on. We're going to have to lose one of our 3 central strikers. They're all playing reasonably well. Ganvula is the one that is the least fit and has the lowest average rating. So we'll take them out as the target forward. We'll bring Kubica in at left back. Klunder's going to go at right back. And we're going to have to do something with our attacking too. I don't want to play two advanced forwards without somebody between them. So Cordova might just drop in as a deep lying forward on support. And we might need to just ease off on our fullbacks to make us a little bit more compact as well. You can see Kubica is not a strong option at left back. I don't think an attacking mentality would be the wisest either. We might even drop the lines. We'll keep them high for the moment, but it's something to think about at half time. Hopefully we can get through to 45 minutes unscathed and still with a 1-goal lead. We're into 45 minutes now. I think we're going to do it. We have. But this is going to be a tricky second half to navigate. So as we join our first highlight in the second half, I've left two strikers on the pitch, but I'm considering perhaps dropping one down and making a 4-man central midfield. I left two on the pitch on the hope that in the counter-attacks, we might just be able to snag a second goal, and we have, because the player I would probably have taken off in Cordova has grabbed a second goal for us. What I might do is just sit tight until 60 minutes and then take it down to just one striker up front and really pack the midfield to help us keep a better shape and keep the ball a little bit better as well. Let's see if we can get to that 60-minute mark without conceding a goal. Greuther Fürth have only had one shot so far in the game, but it does look that they might be coming forward now. Ohio to Opoku, and our defensive line is looking pretty good there, but you can see that they've got 5 players pressing up against it. I think we might need reinforcements. They are waltzing through our left-back slot. Kubica really isn't comfortable going and engaging players as they run towards him. And on 60 minutes, I think we might just think about that tactic. So I think the play we're going to make is to bring on our backup left-back, Sadulaguni, who is a natural there, and he's a good defensive option, just not very effective going forward. But in this game at 2-0 up, I'm not sure we're going to need them to bomb on. We're going to take Cordova off as they are the most tired, and it means that we can bring Kubica into a more natural midfield position and really pack it out with 4 players there. What I am going to ask Kubica to do is get forward and support the Rascal up front a little bit more. So we're going to ask them to be an advanced playmaker on attack, and we're going to move Rascal back to being an advanced forward and see if we can just see out the game with this more compact 4 in midfield system. We've got a highlight straight away, and again, it's to our opponents, although we've won it. And here is Sadullah, fresh onto the pitch. We've launched a long ball forward to the Rascal. He's ploughing a lone furrow up there, so going direct to him might not be the best move. And our new left-back, who we've brought on to be a more solid defensive option, has been beaten easily there. And Greuther Fürth have blasted their way back into the match. 61 minutes, it's 2-1. And no sooner do I make that change than we are looking in trouble. Maybe that's a mistake and has put too much pressure on us, leaving just the Rascal up front, because you can see we hit a hopeless long ball towards him and we lost possession and got punished for it. So we are inside the final 10 minutes, and on 82 minutes, it's highlight time once more. We have got the ball. Everything seems to be down our left, even though that's the side we're meant to be the weakest on. Kubica gets the ball to Tillman. The Rascal has drifted into space again, and I thought he'd hit the back of the net. He beat the keeper this time, but it sailed wide of the post. But you can see how good the Rascal's off-the-ball movement is. He really has been the star man for us, and he really shouldn't be in the first-team squad. We've plucked him out the under-19s. He's racing forward again, but he can't get on the ball that time. And with 3 minutes to go until the 90 is up, we need to try and win this ball back. Greuther Fürth have got it in the right-back position. We're closing down, but we're probably looking pretty tired now. And we've got an injury to Rafael Brito in midfield that we're going to need to address as well. Will we still be in the lead when we make that change? We've now got them waltzing past our right backs in both full-back positions. We're looking very vulnerable. I might move them to a defence mentality. So the man we're bringing in as our defensive midfielder is Ogajan Duran. They are 6'3" and pretty strong in the air. Their tackling's good, so they should be able to win the ball back for us. And we've rejigged our midfield as well to make us even more solid. Bujaleb's now going to be a deep-lying playmaker rather than an advanced one. Kubica's going to be a box-to-box midfielder rather than an advanced playmaker. And I think the other move that we're going to make is to throw on an awful lot more time wasting to try and see us through the final minutes of this game. If we could steal a win in this game, that will make it back-to-back encounters where we've not really looked that convincing. Although in this game, I don't think that's our fault. I think it's the fault of the player that got sent off for us. We've managed to escape with a victory. It means that we've continued our run of wins at the start of the season, but now we're going to be without a left back and a right back while Sequay is out suspended, and we've got some tough games coming up because we're due to play a couple of the top sides over the next few games. The table's looking good, even though we've got some selection dilemmas ahead of us. And look at the team that we played in our first episode, St. Pauli, up to third place in the table. So that was clearly a good win on the opening weekend of the season. But while we go away and work out who we're going to bring in the team to remain competitive, you're going to need another video to watch. And this one might just interest you. If you're looking for a new club to launch your next FM22 save, there might be some ideas for you that you enjoy.